More HBO Max news. Let's discuss them in this video. Alright, so we've got some more HBO Max details to talk about, some of which have been super recent developments, including how much the service is going to cost and what the release window of this streaming service will be. So let's discuss. So yeah, I'm gonna be, if I look down in my video, it's because I'm looking down at my iPad quite a bit because there's quite a few details to go over regarding the latest developments of HBO Max. You see some examples behind me of what the service is saying is going to be there when it comes out, but we'll get into more details as we go along. So HBO Max is set to launch in May 2020 in the US, and admittedly this is kind of one of the more parts of the news that I'll be talking about today. It's going to cost $14.99 a month. Ooh, yay, that's quite expensive compared to other new streaming services, but I'll get into more of my thoughts on that. But for some customers, they won't have to, pay that $15 fee. I have here a deadline says that existing HBO customers and 10 million AT&T customers will get the service for free. And deadline also said an ad-supported version will go live in 2021. So I'm kind of curious to hear more details on that. And I've talked about it before, how HBO is basically promising that it's going to have service from not only it's going to have content from not just HBO, but also many other parts of the divisions of Warner Media. So this includes Warner Brothers Pictures, Cartoon Network, TBS, Crunchyroll, and Adult Swim. I have some screenshots from the HBO Max website to go along with this video, so you'll get you'll get even more of a taste of the content that's expected to be coming to this service. Of course, there will be original shows for HBO Max. There will be many Studio Ghibli movies coming to service. I discussed that in a previous video. And I also very recently found out that South Park will also be exclusively streaming on HBO Max, which is kind of surprising because South Park is a property from Comedy Central and Viacom. So kind of eye-opening to hear that right here. And in terms of some more of the content that'll be coming, we can expect titles like Crime Farm and Ellen's Home Design Challenge. For my animation fans out there, we actually have some pretty good news regarding, we've heard that that there's going to be 4 new Adventure Time specials coming to the service, and drumroll please, that was the worst drum roll ever, but HBO is saying that close enough. You might remember the J.G. Quintel, that upcoming J.G. Quintel animated series, adult animated series that kind of looks like regular show, is set to come to the service. So that aspect is, definitely refreshing in the sense that, finally close enough is coming out and is going to have a place to call home. So with these new details, let's talk about, how I personally feel about them. So first thing I want to start off with is the price, which is kind of curious, $14.99 a month, which I know was kind of expected because I think HBO's current services, I believe, cost right around in that same ballpark. So on one hand, it's kind of expected to be way, but on the other, it's kind of surprising to me because that's, more than in services like Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus, which the latter of which launched very recently. So I was like, oh my God, HBO and Warner is going to be asking for that much money now. So I don't know. So I kind of feel like, so I'm honestly kind of mixed on that, because on one hand, I do really like a lot of content that comes out of Warner Media, Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network especially. I mean, just the fact that they're promising, a lot of Cartoon Network content, and on top, as well as Close Enough and the Studio Ghibli library and South Park. I mean, that kind of stuff is just like, that's, for me, that's, that's more reason for me to consider, checking out HBO Max. Regardless, I was going to anyway, since I've been covering the service quite a bit here on this YouTube channel. But I kind of feel that the price might still be a bit of a turnoff for some people, especially the main anxiety of these new streaming services, especially the ones coming from, the big studios like Disney and Warner, is that people are like, oh, do I have to pay for yet another streaming service? I hear that, you know, I hear that talked about quite a bit, on social media. I even hear that in my workplace, if I'm, at least if I'm being truly honest. So launching at that price, even though yeah, it's kind of in line with what HBO is already doing, I'm honestly kind of mixed. I think for some it'll be, worth it, especially if they really, really like content coming out of HBO or Warner Brothers or Cartoon Network or Adult Swim. But and I remember reading an article about this saying that, there's a good chance that with all these streaming services coming out, people are only going to subscribe to two or three of them. And honestly, I honestly believe that. Even I'm kind of thinking that, I might only, subscribe full time to two or three. And if there's any more content, then, I'm going to use another service to check out that content, like iTunes or Google Play or that sort of thing. Although it may not be a long term, decision, but that's just where I am right now. But in terms of the other things that are coming to HBO Max, I'm definitely pretty excited to see that. I am definitely really glad Close Enough is finally, finally found a place to call home. I had a feeling because even before HBO Max was fully announced, the industry was kind of speculating that Warner Media and AT&T might come out with their own streaming service, and it was just kind of weird how we were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for Close Enough, and we're just like, when is this thing gonna come out? And I just had a feeling that kind of like what happened to Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus, and Rocko's Modern Life. I was thinking, maybe they're saving it up for HBO Max, and lo and behold, here it is. So yeah, so that's definitely, I would definitely say, it's it is admittedly an incentive on top of the other ones for to go and check out HBO Max. I mean, I myself, I'm a really big Regular Show fan. I definitely consider it one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows because I found especially the early and middle seasons to be really funny, really surprising. And it's weird because like I'm not even really big into like surreal comedy, but I just really got a kick out of Regular Show. I still remember one of the very first episodes I saw was the episode of the where they get stuck, where Mordecai and Rigby get sucked back into the 1980s because they were using these crazy cell phones. And when they were going through that vortex, when the evil phone is like, the 1980s called, they want their cell phones back, and they got sucked in. I genuinely had a WTF moment in just how insane that was. So I'm really looking forward to seeing maybe, JG Kinsell, going back to that kind of stuff with Close Enough. And especially because, it's an adult animated series. And we even saw it in that trailer that came out a couple years ago, which I'm surprised is for TBS. And, seeing that, go into adult world, there's even more possibilities going there. And I think JG's style, I know, yes, it would really fit, with something like Close Enough going into an adult animated show. So I think in that sense, I'm really glad to hear that something is finally happening with Close Enough. But I will say, I've said before in many, 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 many in my other, especially in my other videos regarding HBO Max, that it is a service that I am kind of looking forward to in the sense that, I do like a lot of the movies and shows that come out of, Warner Media's divisions. And I honestly think that's going to be that subjective thing. Again, going back to this whole that, because people aren't going to want to subscribe to every single one of the services, they may only check out two or three of the services, mainly consisting of the content they really, really like. And that was why I was saying of the streaming services that are coming out, the ones that I'm looking forward to the most are Disney Plus and HBO Max, just on top of the reasons that I'm going to check those services out anyway for this YouTube channel. But the word on, what kinds of content that are coming to the service is even greater incentive. So yeah, I do honestly prefer we'd still live in a world where we're only mainly using streaming services like Netflix and Hulu. I'm still subscribed to Netflix and Hulu. I still watch, I especially like to, rewatch episodes of like Hey Arnold and Rugrats using Hulu, as well as the Eric Andre Show is also on Hulu. And this coming holiday season, if this movie is still there, I was thinking of checking out the Illumination Grinch movie through Netflix, mainly because I did some trailer reactions for that film. So it's not that I'm anti Netflix and Hulu, it's just a matter of, oh boy, is this going to be the world we're living in? Because especially now, with Disney Plus coming out, are all these movie studios, Warner included, looking at Disney and thinking, everybody is getting into streaming nowadays. Maybe we should start our own services so we can get more out of it and make our own, get some more ka-ching out of doing that. So I honestly think that's what's going on. And I'm not checking out these services just to say it's the future and you have to accept that. Like, it's not the reason for me. It's more out of just to get a glimpse of, what are these, studios up to and that sort of thing. And if you don't want to check them out yourselves, then, definitely more power to you. I'm not going to stop you. But I do think that they do have some legitimately, enticing content coming to these services. I'm really hoping that they, even add more on top of the ones that, they're already talking about. I mean, obviously, Warner and HBO they're not going to dump like every single Cartoon Network, show on the service just yet, because they want to just keep enticing people, and maybe someday when like an anniversary comes of a certain show, they'll be like, hey, this show, oh, you've waited for years, is finally coming to HBO Max. But I'm still gonna check the service out. If I'm being honest, it is one of the streaming services that I'm looking forward to, unlike certain others. But yeah, I'm definitely very interested. But I'd like to hear what you have to say. What do you think of the recent developments of HBO Max? Would you check out the service yourself? I do hope that they do launch some kind of free trial for skeptical customers. I mean, a person like me, as a person who doesn't use AT&T e-services, I'm still going to have to pay for that, basically $15 a month. Or that's just going to be how the way it goes for me. But let me know your thoughts down below. Are you interested in checking out the service? If you are you going to be paying that $14.99 a month fee, or are there ways for you to get the service for basically free, if not a cheaper price? Leave all those thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to get notified when I release my latest videos. Follow me at Blood Moon Bobby on your favorite social media platforms to take part in polls, see my tech tips, and to hear about my video plans. Thanks for watching.